Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Locked On Astros podcast, where we will be looking at the one positive of today's game. I'm just kidding. There's a whole bunch of positives of today's game, but one of them was Framber Valdez. He did reach 23 straight quality starts. That was great. And we'll talk about that. Jose Altuve had a Joe West moment. What are we talking about there? And how about Maldonado in the ninth inning with throwing out the runner at third base? That was great. There's so much that we got to talk about on this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast that starts now.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. And Brett, he couldn't join us tonight, but he's going to be covering for me on Thursday night while I go with my son to, he plays in the band, so we're going to be going way far away to a football game. So I'm excited about that. But today's game was one of those games that was like, yeah, this is exciting. Framber Valdez did get his quality start. It wasn't pretty, but you know what is pretty? You making us your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to us. Make sure you go ahead and make us your first listen and give us a like on YouTube. And go ahead and listen to us on your way to work, on your way home from work, on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And I got this. Brett got this for me at the game. So it's the Billy Wagner jersey. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and wear this tonight. So I just felt like, you know what? I'm a little red. So, and I've got my Uvalde maroon color underneath in support of Uvalde going back to school. So we wore that to school today. So I just wanted to support the Astros and also support Uvalde on today's show. So prayers to everybody that went back to school for the first time. And yes, Wagner does belong in the Hall of Fame. I believe that he does. If you look at his numbers, if you look at just what he can do, is just he was just one of the best closers in the game for somebody as short as he was, but he just could throw the ball with he just has one of the strongest legs and everything. So let's go ahead and we'll talk Billy Wagner some other time, but let's talk about this game. Because Framber Valdez got in a little bit of trouble. Yes, his defense was not the best today. He had Altuve with an throwing error. Then you had Bregman with a fielding error. And it was one of those, it wasn't really a fielding error. He actually got the ball, but then he dropped the ball. And then you had Yuli Gurriel with the same issue where he fielded the ball, but then he dropped the ball trying to get it to Framber Valdez. That was the big one. That was in the seventh inning when Valdez was trying to go for the seventh inning. That would have been his fourth straight start with going 7 innings. And you know what? He's going for that 23 consecutive quality starts. But, you know, for a pitcher like Framber Valdez, who is trying to get some consideration for Cy Young, that 7 straight starts is a big deal for him. The 7 innings and 4 straight starts is a big deal. And he had a low pitch count. And so, you know, Dusty Baker is going to ride his horse. And so, you know, he's going to leave him out there. Unfortunately, Yuli Gurriel dropped that ball. Same thing that Bregman did earlier in the game. Unfortunately, this one led to some more unearned runs. So on the day, you would look at Valdez's stats, you'll be like, wow, he had a great game. 6 2/3 innings, only allowed 6 hits. 4 runs. 2 of them were earned because of the errors. 4 walks. The 4 walks typically, when Valdez is walking people, that leads to error issues, and he had 11 strikeouts. So after the second inning where he gave up the 3 runs, he really settled down. and then he gave up the other run in the 7th inning. But he had 4 straight innings where he was just dominant, Valdez. And yeah, he would allow some hits here and there. Then you had the defense, and then you had Maldonado who missed a pass ball here and there, and then some runners were. It felt like the runners were running like wild on both sides. I mean, the Astros had a season high 5 stolen bases today. You don't really see that. You see Jeremy Pena, who stole 2 bases today. Then Kyle Tucker is like, oh crap, the season's almost over. I can't get to 30-30 if I'm not stealing bases. So he got 2 stolen bases today. Then you had Altuve get a stolen base in the 9th inning as well. So, but Pena, it looks like he's got some good legs to steal some bases down the road. So I'm excited about that. But yes, while the stolen bases are great, yes, the 11 strikeouts are great, but the errors didn't help Valdez. And then you also had the 4 walks. The 4 walks always hurt a starting pitcher, especially somebody who's on a roll like this. So yes, he did reach the 23 straight quality starts, and he's 1 away from Jacob deGrom in order to tie the Major League Baseball season record for a single season record. I guess I should say Jacob deGrom. I think he did it in 2018 of 24 games. I think he's going to do it next week versus the Tigers. So that's going to be a big deal. And then if he can do it for 25 straight games, that would set a major league record. And yes, that would give him definitely some consideration for the Cy Young, because that doesn't happen. I mean, that's a big deal for you to go 25 straight quality starts. And I know if you're looking at today's game, you'll be like, yeah, he gave up 4 runs, but when you have the defense that played as bad as it did, and no, you can't blame this game on the Bad Bunny concert, because the outfield looks terrible. And isn't there a Lady Gaga concert going on next week? So my only concern is Jim Crane, you better do something before the playoffs come in, because the outfield has got to look pretty when the playoffs are coming. That's all I have to say. But Maton came in and he did good today. Stanek came in and did good. And then you had Will Smith came in. He gave up the hit, but then you had the runner advance. I forgot if Simeon stole base. No, I think he just advanced on a fielder's choice or something. But then that throw by Martin Maldonado, it's very hard to throw out a runner at third base, but Martin Maldonado did a great job. And so it was, but it was just awesome. So, I see James Cook and a couple of y'all saying that 26 is the actual record that deGrom set. But so that's over 2 years, but we're talking about a single season record. So, so we'll see if Framber Valdez can achieve that. So if he's able to reach 26, that would be awesome to do it in single season, when Jacob deGrom, as good as he is, could only do that in over 2 seasons. So yes, that would be a big deal, and that's something to definitely keep your eye on. So do you know what else is you should keep your eye on? Is Built Bar. So have you done your most recent order of Built Bar? Well, have you tried Built Bar Puffs? If you haven't, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Ready? Delicious, indulgent cookie dough covered in chocolate. That's right. Built has done it again. Let me introduce you to your new favorite. Cookie dough chunk puffs have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% chocolate. All the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, it's healthy for you. Cookie dough chunks puffs only have 160 calories, and they have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. Run to built.com to snag a box for you and the family. It'll be a perfect treat, or you can find a really good hiding place and just hoard them for yourself. Somebody having a birthday coming up, buy them a box of cookie dough chunk puffs. and it's covered in 100% real chocolate. That means they're healthy and tasty. What's great about Built is that all their bars are made with collagen protein, which helps your body absorb more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. Go to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use the promo code LOCKEDON15 to go get your cookie dough chunk puffs right now. All right. After you do that, if you don't have a ticket to your next game, I mean, Hunter Brown did great yesterday. Then Framber Valdez reached 23 straight consecutive starts. The Astros did lose tonight to the Rangers, but if you can't make it to the game, a great place to go watch the game would be at Hooters of NASA. And Brett and I like to go there all the time. We just sit there, watch the game, have the wings. I love the 3 Mile Island. Brett likes the Chipotle Buffalo, and fries. Curly, they have the best curly fries there. And what's your favorite? Come see what all the hoot is about, and come hang out with the world famous Hooters girls. Anytime the Astros play, you will see and hear all the action because they love the Astros like you love their wings. Whether you're dining in, ordering online for carryout, or placing a delivery order, the best food in Webster can be found here. And I believe on October 2nd, they're organizing a trip to go to Minute Park with the Hooter Girls. So if there's any slots, go ask Rosie over there and she'll see if there's any slots. So that'll be an awesome experience. And while you're there, ask her why she has not worn black socks since October 26th of 2005. Come enjoy happy hour, or should we say happy owl specials, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. So many more drink specials. How about Thursday specials with drink specials all day? I-45 South, exit F1 528 for great wings and the best service from the world famous Hooters girls. And go tell them that the Locked On Astros guy sent you, and you'll get a free basket of fried pickles. And just go see the world famous Hooters girls. Alrighty, so let's get back to this. I know that the series. Let's see, who's this? Hun says so far the series so far, the Astros runners in scoring position are 2 of 17. I believe in today's game they were 1 for 11. Yes, this is something that the Astros have been dealing with a lot this year. And yesterday's game, they won 1-0. Today's game, they lost 4-3. So this is something that the Astros do need to address before the playoffs. And the way to address it is by Alvarez getting healthy. I saw somebody say Diaz needs to get a little bit more playing time. So the problem with Diaz getting a little bit more playing time is Dusty Baker's got to have a little bit faith in the rookie to get a little bit more playing time. And I don't think that he has that confidence in him yet. And in a game like this situation, JJ Madjevic has some experience this year, but same time, you don't really have that. Diaz doesn't really have that experience yet. So he will get his time, but in a close game like this, I don't think you're going to see him kind of playing like this. So I think that we saw that Medjevic was pinch hit for with Mancini. Mancini has hit some hard times since he hit that 2 home run game. And I believe he's I've got the stat right here. Let me see. He's 15 for 82 or something with 6 extra base hits since his 2 home run game back on August 5th. So Mancini has kind of cooled off a little bit. The Astros overall, you have Alvarez. He's had some moments, but he's still nursing the hand a little bit. He looks like he's making some better contact at times. But overall, you have some people that are struggling at times, but then at the other times they're all hitting at the same time. So it's just that's what you get with the Astros offense. And in today's game, you had Altuve. He had that home run. Some would call it the Joe West special. And I don't know if y'all have realized this, but Altuve has been trying to hit it out to right field a lot recently, and he doesn't really have the ability to do that a lot, and it feels like he keeps on going out that way, and it falls a little bit short. The right fielder keeps on catching it. I think somebody reached up above the wall the other day to catch it, but this one, I think the Rangers wanted fan interference, but luckily the young fan back there kind of kept the glove behind the wall, and Garcia kind of leaned back over to try to catch it, but luckily there was no fan interference there, and so Joe West was not there. So definitely looking at today's game, Altuve was 1 for 4 with a home run. You have Jeremy Pena. He is heating up a little bit. He was 2 for 4 with 2 stolen bases today. Then Alvarez had a hit today, a single. Then Bregman had a single. Tucker was 2 for 4 today with 2 stolen bases. So people were getting on base. Yuli Gurriel was dropped from the 2 hole. A lot of people wanted that. So he was dropped down. I think it was just because Otto was on the mound. So I think that was the situation there. But Yuli went 0 for 4. He did get an RBI. Matajevic was the DH to start the game. And then you had him, Mancini pinch hit for him later in the game, and he went 0 for 2. McCormick may still be dealing with the pinky issue, but he was 0 for 4 today. And Martin Maldonado, he was 0 for 2. Vasquez pinch hit for him later in the game, but Maldonado did work a walk, but McCormick did strike out 3 times. So overall, the Astros did get 8 hits in this game. They scored 3 runs, but they seemed to strand a lot of runners on base. One inning, I believe they had 2 weak pop-ups. So you got to, in those situations, get the big hits, and that's what the Astros tend to do at time. And yes, somebody's brought this up, and I was like, I saw this, I'm like, is this really happening? The Astros traded Brinson the other day. He's a minor leaguer that hit 20-something home runs in AAA. The Astros had no interest of bringing him up. He was a former top prospect, and the Astros have a big glaring hole at center field. But Brinson was just sitting there, and they traded him. And now he's got 3 home runs in 4 or 5 games, and maybe not even that many. So I know let me see what he's done so far. I know he hit another home run today, but it's just crazy how, would he have done that with the Astros? I don't know. So I really don't know if that would have happened with the Astros. Here it is. So I'm trying to pull up Brinson's stats so far, but Brinson with the Giants, he's leading off, by the way. So far he has in 14 at-bats, he's got 3 home runs, 5 hits, 4 RBIs. He's batting .357 with a 1428 OPS. Granted, it's a very, very, very small sample size, but it happens. You're not going to catch everybody. I mean, JD Martinez, the Astros were like, oh, I don't think we're going to get anything here. Brinson was just a backup option. The Astros felt like they had McCormick. They felt like they had Mauricio Dubon, and they felt like when Jake Myers is right, they had enough center field options. So they didn't really want to take anybody off the 40-man roster to add Brinson. So that's why they went ahead to do that. And they also went ahead and they needed some playing time for some of these young guys, mostly Jake Myers, so he can get ready for the playoffs. So, yeah. All right. Well, Metal Maniac asks, well, is Brinson, or maybe this is more of a statement. He's saying, well, Brinson is better than McCormick. Well, yeah, but this is still a small sample size. Some guys just get all hyped up because they're up in the major leagues again. They go on this little hot streak and then they cool off. The big leagues, they have a way of humbling you. So the pitchers may figure Brinson out pretty soon, or maybe he is the real deal. I don't know, but there's a reason why he was in the minor leagues all year. So that's all I have to say. But unfortunately, it was just a situation where the Astros just felt like they had the better options. Brinson was just a additional piece, and they just kind of moved him out. So, yeah, a lot of people are want to talk a little bit about Brown. So what can Brown do for you? So Let's look at what Hunter Brown said. So Justin Verlander was asked, well, what is it like to have somebody like Hunter Brown, a future maybe ace, a number one prospect, idolize you and almost have the exact identical pitching wind up to you? So this is what he said. That's a hard question to answer. It's pretty cool to have somebody make their debut who grew up idolizing me. He's turned himself into a great pitcher. His story is fantastic, and that's all the credit to him. Great kid. And he also said, incredible. It was a lot of fun to watch. I was excited to see his debut. You couldn't script it much better. And that Hunter Brown was just awesome. And I hope he gets one, maybe two, maybe three more starts. And I was trying to say this in the podcast. I don't know if I really had a chance to do it, but I really think that the Astros need to stick to a six-man rotation to kind of keep their arms fresh. I know that they have the off day on Thursday, but I think that if they keep the six-man rotation, especially with the extra arm, with the 28 man roster, you have the extra arm. You can go ahead and have the extra reliever. That's why the Astros kind of went away from the 26 man roster. The 6-man rotation for a while there. So I think that if Brown, until Verlander comes back, I think he should stick in the rotation. And who knows? What if he becomes this dominant pitcher that you want to have in the playoffs? If not, imagine with this curveball, this slider, this fastball, he could be a dynamic arm out of the bullpen. And so this is what Brown's father said of Verlander. He said, not only did he grow up idolizing him, he mirrored him. They have a lot of the same motion. If you ever see a layover of the two of them on screen, they're very similar in their approach. And I know that the Pitching Ninja did one, AT&T Sportsnet did one, and it's just so crazy. And Martin Maldonado said that he looks like JV back in the day, young JV, big curveball, power slider, power fastball, locating fastball better than I thought it was going to be. We all knew coming in that he's the number one prospect for a reason. His stuff is electric. And so Dusty Baker, after the game, he said he doesn't need any words of encouragement. Sometimes we talk too much. Okay, Dusty, just go out there and pitch. Follow Maldi, follow the game plan. This is probably something he's been waiting for his whole life. So just leave him alone. So basically, give him the Justin Verlander treatment, right, Dusty? So that's what it seemed like. But I was really excited to see that whole game, and it was just great to see that experience and everything. So before I start looking at comments and kind of going off that, let's go ahead and talk about Kyle Tucker. Before the game, he was asked about reaching the 2020 milestone. He said, it's pretty cool. I'm trying to come out and play. And if I end up getting 20 bags and 20 home runs, great. I'll just come out and win games as much as possible. So the update is the 30-30 update is he's got 23 home runs, 22 stolen bases. So the question is, with as many games as he has left, does he have enough to get 30-30? Another question is, does it really matter? No, but it looks good on his baseball card to be a 30-30 player. So I think it is a big deal to Kyle Tucker. Does that mean he's going to be running like crazy and swinging for the fences? Who knows? A lot of people assumed that Ryan Presley would be activated as soon as he was eligible, which was on Tuesday. But unfortunately, he's still battling some neck soreness, and he will remain on the injured list. And earlier this week, Dusty Baker expressed optimism that Presley would be back. But unfortunately, he said, we're just determined that he's not ready. Josh Miller said that he's still dealing with a little lingering neck soreness. He threw today and threw well. We just want to make sure he's 100% before we get him back out there. We anticipate him being able to do that in the next couple of days. And don't forget that Rafael Montero has done a great job getting some saves. I believe that Neris got a save as well. So these guys getting these big saves down the stretch will be good in the playoffs. as well. And Justin Verlander played another game of catch today. He played a catch about 90 feet or so, maybe a little bit less, and felt good, according to Josh Miller. We'll go from there. We'll probably think about getting him off the mound in the next handful of days. So Verlander is making a little bit of progress of getting back on the mound. So we'll see what happens from there. Sorry. But overall, Valdez is the story of the game. I mean, what he's doing is historical. He is doing what no Astro has done before, no left-hander has done before, and now he's going for what no major leaguer has done before. He's just got to tie DeGrom in 2018, and then he may even try to beat DeGrom's record of 26 over 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens in that situation, and let me see if anything's popped up since the games ended from Dusty Baker or anything like that. But the Astros did lose 4-3, and this is from Mark Berman from the Astros. Framber Valdez extended his quality start to 23 straight outings. This extends the MLB record for consecutive quality starts by a left-handed pitcher. Also, 23 straight quality starts. Also ties right-handed pitcher Jack Taylor, 1902, for the fourth longest streak in MLB history. Okay, so Jack Taylor back in 1902. Welcome. So that was a long time ago. So unfortunately, the Astros did lose this game. I'm not too worried about this. I think if you're going to be worried about anything in this game, I know a lot of people are going to be worried about the runners left in scoring position, but the Astros have dealt with that all year. The one thing that you might want to be concerned about in this game is the errors. Alex Bregman broke a 44 game errorless streak in this game, and Yuli Gurriel broke a 51 game streak, errorless game streak. So they're both normally pretty reliable with the glove, and then you saw them both commit error in the same game. So I'm not worried about this at all. So as we close out the show, I do want to kind of look at the chat to see what y'all are talking about. And I know that a lot of y'all are talking about Garcia possibly going to the bullpen. I don't think that they're going to do that during the regular season. They could possibly do it during the playoffs. Depends on how good Hunter Brown is, but I really think that I don't really know. I mean, I could see the benefit of having Hunter Brown in the bullpen as a reliever with his arm. I think that he would play better as a reliever than Garcia would. I could also see them possibly leaving Garcia off one of the maybe ALDS roster, something like that. But I think that Garcia, when he's on, he's pretty good pitcher himself. So, other than that, I'm looking for anything that's relevant to talk about, but I'm really not worried about this. This one game. This one game is just we won't even worry about this one game. Valdez is the big story. What could have been like a Joe West moment with Altuve's home run. Then you had all the stolen bases, like the 5 stolen bases, which was the season high. So, Hun asked, "Who's my four starting pitchers in postseason?" Well, it really depends on if Verlander's healthy. So you definitely have Valdez in there. I always think that Urquidy is a big game pitcher, so you're going to have to put Urquidy in there. I think that you're probably going to have to go with his experience and his mojo, so to speak, with Lance McCullers. And then the last guy is going to be kind of hard to pick. I would probably have to say Christian Javier. Christian Javier is probably be the guy. Luis Garcia will probably be in the bullpen in the playoffs, maybe, or Hunter Brown will probably be in the playoffs. But or one of them may be off the roster. But I just think that Brown's stuff plays better in the bullpen is what I'm trying to say. So if you had to pick between the two of them, we'll see. So Anyway, guys, so that's all I got. That's all my voice has got for tonight. But make sure you go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you keep on tuning in to us on Apple, Spotify, and Odyssey. And make sure you check out the Ultimate Pro Football Preview. It's an 8-episode extravaganza to get you ready for the NFL season. The local team experts of the Locked On Podcast Network, plus a betting angle from Lee Sterling of Locked On Bets, all combining into one ultimate NFL preview. Search for Ultimate Pro Football Preview 2022 on your Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the Game 3 versus Rangers, and hopefully we'll be talking about a victory. We're always positive, always Stros on Locked On Astros podcast, and we will see you tomorrow, and go Stros.